from Mexico, they did migrate on up into Texas, where the Texas ranchers gathered them, bred them with other cows to create the Texas Longhorns. Now they are a very hardy animal, and they will eat just about any type of vegetation. They are pretty drought resistant, that's why they get along so well in Texas and Oklahoma. Their horns grow for a lifetime, and they grow 6 to 8 feet, and that is tip to tip. On a much older animal, they can actually almost drag the ground when they go down to eat and drink. The gentleman standing up in the back, right back there, that's George Strait. He got his name because his horns are the straightest of the three. The one standing up right here, that is Waylon, and the one laying down is Willie. Now they did just about go extinct in the 1920s. However, some Oklahoma enthusiasts saved them, and that's why we have Texas Longhorns today.
Oh, that guy's got some feet.
Oh my God. That usually comes to feed them.
Okay, that's what he's going to do. He's going to feed them. Watch. We will sit here.
Oh my
Look at
Yeah, listen.
Bison too.
Okay, so watch them.
Watch him. Let's
The
get the
elk?
heck out of Dodge.
The elk are going to head up first.
Go, baby, go.
They will not stay there. They'll eat for a little bit. But look, our bison's on the move.
Oh wow.
So he's going to feed up there. And then he's going to come down here to the bottom and feed. The elk will move down to the bottom because the bison will shoo them out.
Oh my goodness. Look out, boys, I'm coming.
Great thing to get to see.
You guys let me know if you can't hear me, okay?
Yeah,
We can hear you, thank you.
I think you need to get
All right.
somebody down here.
So now he's going to come down here to the bottom. Just do me a favor, I'm out. Don't let anybody sneak up behind me. The bison will shoo everybody out. The elk will come down here to the bottom. The elk are eating. They're going to eat because they're like. And as soon as the bison get up there and they eat, and that's empty, they'll come down here and they'll chase the elk away. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, look there.
Oh, and here comes our bachelors too.
Oh yeah, they're just sauntering.
Uh-huh.
Where's the bachelor?
Well, they better saunter a little faster or they're not going to get anything.
They automatically go low, don't they? They're just like, look, and here come the longhorns.
Yep.
It's just
The longhorns and the elk will come down here.
Are you getting Brenda?
See those young elks and the mamas, they're like, I'm starving. This is just a little pellet. It's kind of, I call it their little vitamin, just to make sure that they're getting some good nutrition. We do everything in our power to keep our grass healthy, so that they have good grazing. Those little babies go, I know what this means. Let's go.
Oh, look at the baby, yeah.
Oh, look at that little teeny one.
Oh,
Because I can run too.
they can't even have a few.
Yeah, Daddy.
Wait for me.
look at Daddy, pass me up.
You guys got to hear a bugle. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Good job, Junior.
Look at the other
Sorry,
side.
Dennis, God just nominated you in charge of all future outings.
Wow.
Okay. He's telling the bachelors, you might as well back off right now.
Yeah, look at
You
them.
are not coming up here by my girl.
Look at them, they stop too.
Yeah, they are.
Look at they stop. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, he bugled.
Wow.
Hurry up, kids, and eat, because
Wish our kids listened to that,
Yeah. And that's the truth.
everybody's video is getting all
Did that,
around.
the
Argue
chick
with
take
the
video
elk.
of that young man.
I don't recognize that.
Wow.
Okay,
Oh, here they
and
come.
What a great thing to see.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, he's watching.
Let's see.
Can you see over my head?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, guys, I was standing up.
Isn't that incredible? Especially when that one bugles like that, and they just.
Is that? Okay, the gentleman walking in the back right here, this elk, that's Strut.
You can see.
Strut used to be our dominant bull, but in 2017, Junior here thought he wanted to be dominant bull, so they did some fighting. He lost. Yeah.
Really?
2018, no, Junior snuck away 3 of the girls. 2019, nothing really happened. But in 2020, Strut haremed his girls together, and he liked to keep them in a harem right here between the 2 trees on the other side of the pond. That way they were close to the water, they had all the food that they wanted, easy to contain, okay? Well,
They're all waiting in line.
Junior got with the bachelors. He said, you help me out, I'll help you out. What they did was they surrounded him. They didn't do anything. They just surrounded him. He couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep, he couldn't drink, and he couldn't do his business, okay? Well, we're out here for about 20, 25 minutes, and in that time frame, he bugled 25 times. And he did not do that once, and he didn't do that for one day. He did that all day for several days. He bugled so much that he got hoarse. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is incredible.
And he finally said, I've had enough, and he walked away. He knew he could not beat him. Strut is over 15 years old. Now, what he did was he went up there by that second gate where he sat, ate, drank, slept, just enjoyed life. He'd had the girls for a little bit, okay? So he'd lost a lot of weight. And he has arthritis really bad in his back
get out.
hips. Yeah, it could get really interesting, and if it does, we're going to be moving.
Yeah.
But you come out here, folks, and I'll tell you what, he had the biggest old grin on his face, and you know what he was thinking? You're the idiot that wanted him, now you get to deal with him. Yeah, Deal with him right. The only thing Junior was interested in was 3. Yeah. 3, that was it. See, he went right up there to that little buck, and he's like, you can just move. This is my area.
Just incredible.
But in 2021, we're like, well, I wonder what's going to happen. Well, Strut haremed the girls together, and he had them for 3 weeks. He said, I had enough of this, and he walked away. And Junior took over. He had him for 4 weeks, and he goes, yep, I'm done. And lo and behold, JJ stepped in. Junior. Yep.
Wow.
So 2022 come, and we're like, well, what's going to happen? Well, Junior haremed the girls together, and he kept them in a harem all year long. He kept his girls up there by that tree, clear up there by the road. Not these 2, but the one right up there. He didn't want them down here because he didn't want them to remember that's where Strut stayed with them, okay? So he has been our dominant bull ever since. But Strut and JJ did not make life very easy for him. No, I was sitting right here, and well, they're watching out for those Texas Longhorns.
Put an eye out.
Yeah, you just watch, because the bison are just about done. So he's up there sitting. We come in through the gate, and Strut was up there by that second gate. We got down here, we was parked, I was talking about the animals and such, and all the corner of my eye I seen something, and it's like, there's Strut. Yeah, Strut got his name for a reason, y'all can figure that one out, right? All right, here he comes. He hit that tree line right there, and he started bugling. And Junior bugled, and Strut bugled. And Junior bugled, and Strut bugled. And Junior bugled, and Strut bugled, and before the girls got up, took off, went to him.
Oh.
Yeah. Took Junior all day to get those girls back. He could not leave the others, because if he did, the bachelors would step in. Okay? Well, the next day I'm out here, guess what? Same scenario. Only this time, Strut bugled, Junior bugled, And lo and behold, I heard a third one down here. It was JJ. So it's Strut, Junior, JJ. Strut, Junior, JJ. Strut, before the girls got up, took off. JJ, 2 went to him, and right straight up ahead is where Junior was standing, and he just kind of looked around like, you gotta be kidding me. And if he could have talked, he would have had a whole lot to say. And he just bugled and bugled and bugled, and he stomped his feet, and the other girls were looking at him like, really? You know, but took him all day. But he bugled his little heart out, and he did get him back. But yeah, it's crazy. Yep. Guess what? Bison are done. Bison are done.
Now these,
See, that's a little baby bison. Used to be the reddish brown. They've already lost that reddish brown.
now the feeders, they don't worry about anything, or
The guys that are feeding them.
They know what they're doing. They go fast and stay away. Yeah. And here-
Snuggle's gonna come here
And here comes the big guy. Yeah. During rutting season, you always need to respect the animals. These guys are wild. They are not tame. They are accustomed to seeing us coming through, okay? But they are not tame. During rutting season, you really want to respect their space. Give them all the space they want. They get along wonderfully. I get asked all the time, how well do our animals get along? I have another story. I can tell you about that if you want to hear it. So, normally I move down so you can see it, but we're going to stay here so you can see, because the animals will be coming. That's more interesting. I'll tell you the story. Our Texas Longhorns were laying down here on this side at the bottom of this hill by the fence line. The elk girls were down here on this little hill on the left. The bison were just below them. The bachelors were all up there by the second gate laying along the fence line. Don't let anybody sneak up on me. And I was out here doing a private tour. There was 2 of us doing a private tour. Well, the first one come in and she stopped and talked about the bachelors. And she got done, she moved out so I could move in. And I got in there and I'm like, I heard this noise. I shut everything off thinking maybe it was a vehicle noise, you know. I didn't think it was, but you know, hey. So, I didn't say anything to my people. I heard it a second time. And they go, did you hear that noise? I go, yeah. Before we could say anything else, we heard it for a third time. So I got on the radio and I said, did you hear that noise? She goes, no, I didn't hear that noise, but did you see that? And I go, no, what'd you see? She goes, I got 2 girls up here fighting. The elk girls have a dominancy as well as the guys. So there's one elk girl that says, okay, come on, we're going to go over here. Come on, we're going to go to the pond. Now we're going to leave the pond. Let's go. So anytime there's any action, we'll try to move so that our folks can see it. Well, I get down here, and my folks and I, we talked about it, and I said the best way I can describe this noise is it sounded like a howl, bark, scream. She goes, oh yeah? Mountain lion. Yeah, it was down there on the other side of the fence. Well, our Texas Longhorns got up and started herding the animals. George and Willie started herding the elk girls. Waylon started herding the bison. Now, Ninja, Dakota, and one of the other guys was not in the group because they were out having a vet check, okay? But when I say herding, I mean he did this. Herding them, trying to get them to go, okay? He'd take 2 steps, he'd turn around and he'd look, be like, y'all ain't following me, let's go. Well, what they ended up doing was they pushed everybody up to the top, to the road up there, and started pushing them that way. Now they were up there by that tree, by the tree line. She goes, "Did you see that?" And I go, "What now?" Well, there was a trailer up here by this, up here by this gate. Well, they were letting Dakota, Ninja, and the other one out from the vet check. Well, Dakota, y'all might be old enough to remember the Charles Bronson movie, The White Bison. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Remember how that bison, just like this? Well, that's what Dakota did. Hi, Dakota. How are you? And he ran all the way from that gate along the road, not on the road, but along the road, all the way up there to that lean-to, because that's where the animals were at. They pushed the animals up into that small pasture, the first one that we came through. They stayed there for 3 days. They would not come back down in here. And I had a lady sitting here, and she goes, "Well, what about the mountain lion?" I go, "What about it?" "Well, what if it got in here?" I go, "That mountain lion didn't have a prayer's chance." That mountain lion would have got through the Texas longhorns, the bison, and the elk. It's kind of like having a brother and sister. It's okay for me to pick on him, but not you. That little boy sitting there, he goes, "No, it's okay, go ahead."
I was like, I don't know, that's a long ways down there.
Wow. I can smell them.
You guys are going up there, I want to. I'm scared of it all.
Get out of his way.
Feel like we ate. We're thirsty. We need some water. Hi, Dakota.
Oh. Down.
Dakota, you are so dirty. So dirty.
The flies on him.
Look at him. He's covered in flies.
That's terrible.
They all are. It's just we can see him because of his